Hey everyone, it's Gary Karp, that tarot guy, with your card of the day reflections for Tuesday, March 16th. Now, as always, the card of the day reflections comes from the Rider-Waite deck. Rider-Waite deck is my personal choice for the deck I read with all the time, whether I'm reading for friends, whether I'm reading for clients, or just doing some introspection for myself. I really believe that the Rider-Waite deck is the only deck you'll ever need. Disclaimer, I've got about 18 tarot decks floating around, so it's not that I'm against other tarot decks. It's just that when I'm reading and I really want to get some knowledge, I use the Rider-Waite. I truly believe it is a beautiful, beautiful deck that can answer any question you could possibly have. So let's get right into today's card of the day. Today's card of the day is the Hangman. Now, the Hangman at once is a really, really simple card, but like everything else with tarot, and especially with the major arcana, there are many layers that are going on here. Immediately, the energy of the Hanged Man tells us that we have to look at things from a different angle. Quite literally, this man is hanging upside down. You can do nothing but look at things and look at the world differently if you're upside down. It just looks different, right? So the lesson of the Hangman immediately is to stop and look at things differently. That if you want the answers to problems or you want to move forward in your life, then you've got to look at your situation from a different angle, from a different place, from a different point of view. You have to let go of your preconceived notions, your beliefs, and you have to have them replaced, or at least you have to acknowledge that there is a different way that you can do things. Now you can see that our Hangman has got his hands behind his back. The Hangman is card 12. Now, it is really, some people consider the Hangman the middle point of the tarot deck. There are really three cards that represent the middle of the major arcana, and that is the Wheel of Fortune, Justice, and the Hangman. And it really represents a process of learning to accept your life and your part in your life, and that you are responsible for all of your life, right? We learn in the Wheel of Fortune that the wheel moves and that we are responsible for everything that comes along. We learn that lesson in Justice, that everything that happens in our lives is as the result of our decisions, our choices or our non-choices. And then we move to the Hangman, which is more about contemplation on the fact that we now understand that everything is a result of our actions or inactions and what we're going to do about it, and creating those higher spiritual connections. You'll also see that his legs are crossed in a classic yoga position, but it's also the number 4, right? And if we go back and we take a look at the number 4 in the Fool's Journey, the number 4 is the Emperor card. That is the father figure for everything. It is the thought of authority. And what we see our Hangman doing here is going his own way, going away from the Emperor, going away from the Hierophant, and choosing his own direction. That's another way you can interpret the energies of this Hangman, that he's hanging upside down when most people would view the world right side up, would go through the world right side up. And the Hangman is very much a card of accepting your own way, accepting that you may be a little bit different. And that's okay, right? That first part of the journey our Fool took was all about fitting in to the world and succeeding in the world by the expectations of the world, right? That's the Emperor and the Hierophant. On the second row, our Fool has gone through the Wheel of Fortune, so he understands the patterns of the universe, and things flow as they flow, and you really cannot control anything. You can work with the energies of the universe, but you really can't control them. And then he understood in Justice that he is the creator of his world, that everything that has happened, good and bad, in his world is a result of an action or inaction that he took. The Hangman now shows him integrating that, right? Saying that it's okay to be different, saying that it's okay to walk a different path. There's a famous poem by T.S. Eliot called The Wasteland that talks about tarot cards. As a matter of fact, the only tarot card that's not mentioned in the entire poem is the Hangman, and that popularized this card in the 1920s. It popularized tarot, and specifically the Hangman, because of its absence. I would recommend anybody read that poem. It's T.S. Eliot. If you like T.S. Eliot, you'll like the poem. Now, I mentioned earlier that the Hangman is the middle point, and you can see the Hangman is card 12. If we reverse that, it becomes card 21, which of course is the World. And if we reverse the Hangman, you will see that the pose the Hangman has is very similar to the Dancer on the World card. The main difference between that is that while our Hangman's arms are tied behind his back, the Dancer in the World card, they are free and they are using the wands freely. They are incorporating and using the energies and connecting with the energies, and they are very proud and happy. The Hangman still believes his spirituality needs to be kept within himself. He's not free with it yet. And that is a lesson we all need to learn, that whatever your individual spirituality is, you have to be free with it. You have to be open. You have to let, and I think I said this earlier, you have to let your freak flag fly. It doesn't matter what your spirituality is. It cannot just come in fits and pieces. You cannot have this knowledge and keep it to yourself. The Hangman not only tells us that we need to look at the world in a different view if we want to enhance our spirituality. The Hangman not only tells us that we have to be okay with living life a different way and coloring outside the lines and taking the road less traveled, bringing up Robert Frost. We talked about T.S. Eliot earlier. But that we have to be free with our spirituality. Now, right here at this point of our fool's journey, he's not ready. The hands are still tied behind the back. They're not able to wield the power, wield the energy, and wield the magic that is contained within. He still feels that it's a very private thing. So tonight, when you're meditating on the energy of the Hangman, I want you to think about a couple of things, and I'd like you to ask yourself a couple of questions. One is, in what areas of your life can you look at the world differently? What challenges are you currently facing that if you looked at it from a different point of view, if you let go of your preconceived notions and maybe, just maybe, thought that you didn't have all the answers and asked yourself, is there a different way I could look at this? What would happen? What would the result be? The other thing I want you to look at is your life and how you're living it, especially when it comes in terms of your spiritual life. Are you ready to free yourself and live outwardly your spiritual life and your beliefs? Or do you still remain hidden? Is tarot something that you proudly say, yes, I believe in tarot. Yes, I am learning how to read the tarot cards. Yes, let me help you determine your future decisions with the tarot. Or is it something that you hide away because you're afraid of the judgment of other people? These are all the questions that are asked by the Hangman. And these are all the questions that I want you to focus on as you're meditating on the energy of our Hangman this evening. Well, folks, that's all I got for you today. I do hope that you're enjoying our Card of the Day reflections. It's good to see a major come up. We've had a couple of minor cards come up. in order, and now we're back to the majors. These are big old lessons, so I hope I'm providing you with some pretty good value so you get the most of these reflections on these major arcana cards. Now I'd like to ask you to do me a favor. If you would, please go over to my Patreon page at patreon.com/thattarotguy and drop $1 in my tip jar. I would truly appreciate it. It would allow me to know that I am making a difference here, that I am providing value for you, I'm giving you valuable insights, and that you are enjoying and taking away something from these card of the day reflections that will empower you and help you continue to grow on your tarot journey and on your spiritual journey. Now, when you drop that $1 in the tip jar, what you'll get is access to exclusive content just for my Patreon supporters each and every month. This exclusive content includes extended card of the day reflections where I dive a little bit deeper into the symbolism and the meanings, as well as provide practical tools that you can use to embody and step into the energy of these cards and really put them into practice in your day in, day out life. You're also going to receive other exclusive content such as unboxing videos, any other videos that come to my mind. I know I'm planning a couple of good video blogs and a couple of really good rants coming up that you're not going to want to miss. And also, I'm thinking about doing a podcast, and all my Patreon supporters will get early access to each and every podcast episode. That's regardless of the level that you join at. So if you drop $1 in the tip jar, you get early access to the podcast. If you drop $5, $10, $25 into the tip jar, you're still going to get early access to the podcast, plus the card of the day reflections, the rants, the extended card of the days, the unboxing videos, and some other goodies that are only available at that higher tiers, working one-on-one with me, group tarot sessions, and so much more. There's a whole plethora of stuff that is available simply by going to patreon.com/thattarotguy and supporting me at any level that you can. I truly do appreciate it. When you do so, it allows me to continue to do what I love and support you on your tarot journey and your spiritual journey. Well, that's it. I hope you're having a great day, and until tomorrow, be good.